The Cadillac Escalade was introduced for the 1999 model year, and it's now on its 5th generation. This is the first generation model that was sold for the 1999 and 2000 model year, and was basically a rushed response to the release of the Lincoln Navigator for 1998. Given the huge success of that model with about 40,000 units sold in its first year, Cadillac was rushing to get this vehicle to market, didn't have the time to do a proper design and build of an all-new vehicle, so they just took an existing GMC Yukon Denali, rebranded it as the Escalade, and sold it for about a $3,000 price premium. This first generation model was sold in a single configuration. It's got the short wheelbase similar to the Chevy Tahoe and the GMC Yukon. The longer wheelbase ESV that we see in later generations wasn't offered for this generation. And then it also came standard with a 5.7 liter V8 as well as four-wheel drive. Later years of the Escalade have a very dramatic, edgy style with sharp edges and plenty of chrome that make them look sophisticated and expensive. And the first generation model has just a touch of that expensive look, but is also very clearly a dressed up Chevy Tahoe or GMC Yukon. It does have a few things that kind of help it to stand out, including a unique front fascia with a revised grille, headlight design, as well as the front bumper. The rear bumper is also revised. It's got unique wheels in chrome with the Cadillac emblem. We've got some plastic body cladding along the bottom of the doors and the rear fender, as well as the fender flares. And then of course inside it comes much more heavily loaded, but overall very similar to the Tahoe and the Yukon, and essentially identical to the Yukon Denali. As I already mentioned, the first generation model of the Escalade came with a single powertrain option, a 5.7 liter V8 with standard four-wheel drive. The 5.7 liter V8 offered 255 horsepower and 330 pound-feet of torque and was paired to a 4-speed automatic transmission. That's good for a 0 to 60 time of 10.6 seconds, max tow capacity of 6,000 pounds, and a fuel economy rating of 11 miles per gallon in the city and 15 miles per gallon on the highway. The interior design of the Escalade is essentially identical to the Chevy Tahoe and the GMC Yukon, but it does come with a much higher level of luxury. For starters, we've got really plush seats. They're perforated leather, very comfortable. We also see that perforated leather on the center console as well as the door panels. And then we've got a leather-wrapped steering wheel with faux wood accents. That faux wood is also carried to the door panels. We've got some in the center console around the instrument cluster, and just throughout gives it kind of that more premium look that you don't get with the Tahoe and the standard Yukon. We do get heated seats for the driver, front passenger, as well as the rear side passengers, so that's kind of a nice feature. We've also got a dual zone climate control system, controls for both the front and rear of the vehicle. It's also got the OnStar communication system with a built-in cell phone. And then we've also got HomeLink garage door opener with the ability to program up to 3 garage door openers. The mirror is self-dimming with a compass and temperature readout. Pretty full in terms of luxury features for its era. There's something very alluring about the Escalade, even though it's essentially just a dressed-up Chevy Tahoe. I think the fact that the president rides in one, a lot of the famous people that we see on TV, movie stars and professional athletes, and just the fact that it's kind of the epitome of American luxury. Whether or not there are better luxury vehicles out there, which there are, there's still just something about this being kind of the pinnacle of American luxury, and something that's kind of special about that. You watch TV shows where there'll be these lines of black Cadillac Escalades for the FBI or for the presidential motorcade, and there's something that's just kind of appealing about that. It gets you kind of excited, and even though essentially this is just your standard Chevy Tahoe with a few little enhancements inside and out, there's something that's just kind of exciting, something that's special about the Escalade because of all of that. Driving the Escalade is pretty nice. I mean, this is getting up there in age, and so certainly by today's standards, it doesn't feel a whole lot like a luxury SUV, and it really isn't a luxury SUV because, again, it's a Chevy Tahoe with some nice plush leather seats and faux wood on the steering wheel. I actually used to own a 1995 Chevy Tahoe, and it's amazing how similar the two vehicles are, even though, the Tahoe was quite a bit less expensive. But all that aside, I mean, it's still a pretty nice vehicle to drive. The Chevy Tahoe is a nice vehicle to drive. They're very smooth, they're comfortable, they're pretty quiet, and they've got good powertrains. Nice solid powertrain. That 5.7 is nothing to get too excited about, but it also provides plenty of power. It's got a nice little rumble to it, gets you up to speed no problem, and you know, also has a pretty good reputation for reliability. My only real critique on the Escalade is the price, and that's probably not a huge issue as a used vehicle, but certainly as a new vehicle, I would have been hard-pressed to spend the extra $3,000 to get the Cadillac badge over the GMC badge. Certainly that alluring factor of, you know, driving the same thing the president's riding around in could be appealing, and maybe some people would justify that $3,000 expense, but for me personally, I actually kind of like the look of the Yukon Denali more anyway, and for $3,000 less, I think that's the route that I'd go. And you know, that aside, it's a good vehicle. It's, you know, practical, it's reliable, durable, pretty capable, comes with a nice level of luxury features for this time period, and you know, all around it's a pretty nice vehicle to drive. So who should buy a Cadillac Escalade? Well, for many years, the Cadillac brand has earned a reputation as being a brand for older rich people, and not a lot of other people get too excited about Cadillacs. But the Escalade is a vehicle that's really broken down those barriers and appeals to a much broader demographic. This is what the president rides in. NBA players choose to drive these, musicians, you've got old rich people, of course, but you've also got just normal families, soccer moms that like to drive these. It's a vehicle that is very capable, very practical, but at the same time very luxurious, and has just a little bit of that flair that helps it to stand out in a sea of lookalike SUVs. And so it's really a vehicle that's a great option for many people to consider. Because it's based on that Tahoe and GMC Yukon, you know you're getting a vehicle that is very rugged, very durable, very reliable, but you get a little bit of that flair and some of that luxury added on. And I think that's why the Escalade has been so popular for its 5 generations. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And for more car reviews, be sure to subscribe. In the meantime, thanks for watching.